Hi there, and welcome to another Cloudasta video. My name is Nick Marchese. Today we'll be talking about the Google Workspace updates for August 2025. Each month, Google Workspace releases many updates to its platform. We take the time to go through and find the most interesting and useful of those updates that we think you will enjoy the most. So we'll talk about a couple of those today, and if you have any questions about them, please reach out to us. First one is for iOS devices, where you can now leverage the power of Gemini within Google Docs. So you can see here how you can go ahead and bring in Gemini from not quite the sidebar, but the little companion star there. And you get a couple of quick prompts, including summarize and generate something for me here, or you can go ahead and just start a prompt yourself or start interacting right from there. This way you can go ahead and take Gemini on the go while you're working in Docs on your iOS devices. The next one is another Gemini update, being able to bring Gemini into Google Forms. We talked about how Gemini in Forms previously was being used to summarize responses, especially free responses, but now you can use it to suggest new questions. So if you have a form already that has a number of questions, in this example, it's only 2 or 3. It will suggest questions that you think might be related to this form. And you can go ahead and insert those, modify them, and leverage those if you're interested, or just hit retry. That could be a way to hopefully save you some time when you're going in creating your Google Forms, and especially if you're trying to see what else you might be missing and you might want to put in here. Okay, this is a funny one, but I actually think it's really great to know about. If you've been working in slides recently, you notice where you can go ahead and have pretty granular control when moving an object. So previously, when you click on an object and you would hit the arrow keys on your keyboard, it would move an object by a number of pixels, and it would move it in like larger chunks. And many users would have a hard time finding out how to move it pixel by pixel, where you had to hold another key to do it as a shortcut. But now by default, when you get an object and you move with arrows, it's going to go ahead and automatically just move it 1 pixel at a time. You could go ahead and still move it in larger distances with another shortcut, but now by default, it'll be pixel by pixel to try and get that more specific alignment with your objects. Another one we have here is in Drive, being able to see previews of your video progress as you're going through. So you get these little thumbnails, which is really cool. So we would see these in YouTube for a long time, but now being able to go ahead and see that within Drive. So you can go ahead and kind of scrub or hover over that timeline and get a preview to try and find where in the video you want to go ahead and start or navigate to. This is really exciting to see more video file support within Drive. Remember, we had analytics support happen recently, and now being able to go ahead and have this thumbnail previews. It's nice to see videos in Drive getting some love. All right, another Drive sort of related thing is that if you have that video and you've scrubbed to it and try and find where you want to do, now you can go ahead and click Vids at the top and edit it directly in Vids. So I open up my file at the top. We have an open in Google Vids. If you have Vids enabled, and in here you can do things like cut and slice and add overlays and add music and all sorts of things to use Google Vids as your video editor, all within the browser, to try and get some of that basic video editing done for you if you need to just do some cutting and slicing and overlays. All right, our next one is within Google Chat. That you have a little support thing there to give you a summary to catch up on unread conversations within Google Chat. So you can see here we have a little summarize button for the 7 unread messages below, and it gives you a recent discussion, things that have been happening. It gives you a kind of a bulleted point overview of that. Remember, this might not happen with only like 1 or 2 messages, but when you get those 7, 10, 15, 20 messages that you've missed, especially within the space, it might be nice to have that summary there built in for you instead of sifting through and trying to find out where this conversation left off. I would love to see this happen more and more by default within long threads within Gmail. I'm excited to see that continue to develop. All right. And within Google Docs, one of our last ones here is now the ability to listen to your documents via Gemini. So if you are somebody who prefer to listen to a document, whether you want to hear the content out loud while you're working or help catch errors just by listening to it or getting an audio version for somebody to consume, you can now go ahead and do that via the menu bar. So you just go up to tools here, you go into audio, and you've got this listen to this tab. And what's great is it actually is via tabs. So this is a feature that's built post tabs being created. So it is actually going to be native to understanding how tabs work. So you get this little pop-up here, it starts playing. You could also go ahead and change your speed and sift through that. In addition, you can go ahead and insert an audio a little button that says listen to this tab. So if you want to go ahead and add that as an option, you think about like when you like read an article and you've got that like listen to this audio recording of it. That's a nice little feature that you can kind of just like make it easier for folks to consume by putting the button right there for them. All right, those were some of our highlights from August 2025. If you have any questions about any of those, please reach out to us. Or if you would want to connect about anything else, we're happy to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening.